I'm going to be playing multiplayer on Minecraft Legacy Console Edition. I'm going to be exploring the server, seeing what features it has to offer and what its players have built, while also trying to find a city for me to live in. This is Califin's Clubhouse, a Minecraft Legacy Console Edition server that exists today. So here I am in the Legacy Console Edition Minecraft server with only 2 people because that's what I get for logging in so late. I saw a sign here that said walk straight ahead, so I did just that. On the way there, I found some brain rot. Apparently not even Legacy Console Edition servers are saved from the tyranny of Triple T. And here I found one of the best parts of this server in my opinion, a vast underground railroad system. Using a command, you can actually get a free minecart without having to do anything. So I used the command, and now I can use this vast transport system. I'm looking for a bit more though because I'm greedy, so I found some chests that had free food and free armor apparently, but there was nothing inside them of course. Up here are a couple of signs that talk about the different locations that you can go to on this railroad, so I decided to go to the left and see what I could find. And here I found Legacy, the first town on my journey of trying to find a place to live. Now, apparently you should visit Gan because it is quote unquote the best city, but right next to that sign, it also says fake news, so I'm not too sure. And here it is, Legacy City with a massive Hollywood-esque sign. So this city must be a pretty big deal. Here I found the ThinkPad Cafe. I'm not too sure if they're talking about Lenovo, but apparently no LARPing is available here. So I guess I can't make this video anymore. Sorry, guys. I will say though, with the lack of players around, because again, I joined so late, this town does seem pretty liminal and a little creepy because seriously, there's no one here, even though there are a bunch of restaurants that should denote otherwise. It seems like this city actually has a fully functioning mail system, and this actually is apparently one of the first houses built inside of Legacy City. Inside is pretty basic, just a couple of chairs and some furnaces and stuff, but here you can actually see one of the server's key features is that it actually has a bunch of commands and systems to stop griefers. This container is private, only the owner can open these up. Oh, and this is exactly what I need, the hobo shelter. Oh yeah, soup for the homeless. Okay, come on. Really? Anyways, there's more hobo beds down here, and just in case you couldn't tell, there's like 15 signs denoting that. And ooh, maybe this is where I could live. Look at all these free beds. It's a little dark down here though, and why are the floors made of hay? Do they really hate the homeless that much? Like, hay blocks aren't even inexpensive either. They deliberately chose to use these blocks. Over here, we have some really cool statues of, I presume, the server owners and staff here. And of course, a giant 4J Studios logo, our supreme overlords. And here I just got some free carrots because, I mean, why not? They're offering them up to me. Of course, I replanted them, and I need some food because literally nowhere else has food, not even the homeless shelter. I have to go pilfering around because of that. And apparently, this is the fucking Farm 3! The real now. Here I found the entrance to the underbelly, and yeah, this seems about right. Apparently this is Ali McWee's house, and yeah, I myself, a delusional man, would also call this a house. And hey, here is one of the many instances of this city's flag. I'm not too sure why it's on the ground though. This kind of feels a little blasphemous. I mean, what if someone walked over it? Isn't that kind of disrespectful? Well, I just did it anyway, so fuck it all. I stepped inside this mountain house and I found the mighty emerald. Thanks, Nabby. So this emerald must be extremely important to the person who lives here. So it would be terrible if I stole it. I'm not gonna steal it though. I'm just gonna rotate it slightly. Just, I don't know, why not? I also found this super smelter. And I honestly have no idea what this is. I've never seen a super smelter in my like 12 years of playing Minecraft. I probably played Minecraft for even more, honestly. So I have no idea what this is. So yeah, this city is not too bad. I think there's a lot of cool builds in it. And I mean, it seems to be pretty well developed, but because of that, there doesn't really seem to be any room for me to expand on it. So that might be a little bit of a downside to moving here. Like, where am I gonna build? Also, the way they treat homeless people is kind of bad. But hey, they got carrots though. So I mean, that about offsets the homeless people treatment, let's be honest. I feel like it could be a contender, but we'll have to see about the other cities. I then proceeded to get completely lost in this underground network of caves, and then the server just restarted, so now we're back at spawn. I then wandered into the nearby desert, and this is the location of the next town, the Oasis. This town's theme is that it's located in the desert, and as you can see, this house is made out of sand. And this guy's storage system is really good. Some shit I'm gonna use! There's nothing inside it. Wood! Trash. Random shit. It has melon seeds. Unconventional naming schemes left behind. There's this really cool Sphinx build over here. And right next to it, a giant pyramid, which actually has a maze inside. Oh, wait, sorry, not this pyramid, the other pyramid. I am actually really good at mazes because I played Identity Fraud on Roblox as a kid. So I know the trick that you need to use when you do a maze. You always have to hug the right wall. Actually, it was the left wall in game. I'm apparently LARPing Identity Fraud now. But hey, what can I say? It works. Level 1 complete, so I don't know. And over here we have this huge build of a crafting table. I don't know what it is about these sort of builds, but I always like it when people build these huge versions of normal blocks in Minecraft. I just think it looks really cool. And hey, look, it's that famous French monument. And for the first time, I actually found a real person in the server. It seems like their base is over here, and on top of it, it actually has the Oasis flag, which I quite like the design of. I tried walking around her to see if I could get her attention, but she was just kind of treating me like I didn't even exist. So I guess Minecraft is realistic in more ways than one, eh? Their base was pretty cool though. It had a nether portal, these cool lava waterfalls, a netherwart farm, and PTSD apparently. But I mean, this place had so many rooms and floors. It had this dance room, a smelting room, and I mean, it just had so many places. Skeleton! I barely made it out alive. I then started walking down this ominous looking tunnel, and while I walked down, I reflected on the past journeys and conflicts that I had to go through. And then I found this really cool looking building at the end of it, and apparently Tongue has been here. This is actually the town hall for the Oasis. And I mean, this is a nice looking build. It has flags adorned throughout the entire room. I love the sandstone and wood combo, stained glass windows, and this is a fine piece of architecture. I mean, this is probably one of the nicest builds that I've seen so far inside the server. Finally, I found this nether portal behind the town hall, so I decided to go in to see if there's anything built inside it, and oh my gosh, I don't think I've ever seen this much fire inside the nether before. I mean, this is literally hell. Now, overall, I think the Oasis is actually a very nice town. It has a lot of cool and unique builds like the Sphinx, Pyramid, and Town Hall, but I'm just not too sure if I want to live in a desert. The last time I went to a desert in real life, I got burnt up so quickly I was looking like a red tomato. I don't know why I had to put red on it. I'm pretty sure you know tomatoes are red. But anyways, it might be a contender, but let's move on. This isn't the next city or anything, but I just wanted to include that I died like an idiot here. While walking around this very colorful area, I decided to go down these ladders into a cave and found this. Make of that what you will. Speaking of dicks, I was walking down into this restaurant and found these signs. Also make of that what you will. And let's see if there's actually anything inside of this nether portal. Hopefully it's not just death. And it's not. And apparently it's actually a nether transport system. So, I mean, let's go through and see if we can find the nether portal to the next city. And here, I found one. XCX World. We're talking about like the artist. I don't know, let's go check it out. So I spawned inside this pretty cozy room, went up a flight of stairs, and immediately saw the N-word. And then got attacked by a sonically charged creeper. I don't know, guys. This town seems like a pretty great contender. Walking across this river, though, I then found this gigantic city. Hopefully this isn't the same town. And it's not. This is actually a town called Gand. Yes, the same best city we saw before. But we're gonna take a brief intermission before we check this out to go see the literal Bat Cave. So I was chatting it up with some of the people on the server, and Cracked Eggs said that they had a bat cave that I could go check out. So I teleported to her, and then she used a jukebox to open up this secret place inside of her clock. She flicked the lever and showcased the bat cave she has been working on. It was still heavily under construction, but it had this cool platform with a lighting system that activated with a lever and had Batman's computer to put Joker in the Phantom Zone. Once it's completed, I'll probably make a short form video on this, so make sure to subscribe. When I left the Batcave, I also found a guy named Simon Was OP, who actually lives in Gand, so we'll talk to him a little later. Jumping off into a random river, I found this tiny little city called Green Hill. There wasn't much here except for a bench and some unkindly residents, so I left pretty quickly. Trying to make my way back to Gand, I found this random house in the middle of nowhere. And it was a pretty impressive house. Had a really nice exterior, and going inside it has a pretty nice decorated interior as well. But then I went down to the basement, and this is probably one of the most modern things I've seen in the entire server so far: kidnapped villagers. But pretty quickly, it went from cliche Minecraft activities to insanely weird and creepy. There was this giant pit in the floor leading down to water, and when I jumped down, I genuinely thought I was in the back rooms. These walls had a lot of weird holes and divots with torches in them, and then walking down the hallway, it didn't get any less uneasy, because climbing up this ladder, I found this. A village that looked like it literally no-clipped inside this random underground chunk. And none of the doors even led to anything. It was a dead end. I'm not too sure who built this or why they built this, but it was pretty strange. Anyways, let's just head back to Gand before anything weird happens. And here we are, welcome to Gand. And look, we found Simon Was OP again. I just walked around his base, which was pretty cool because it had a very classic aesthetic to it. And talking to him, I let him know that I was looking for a place to live, and he offered that I live here in Gand City. He then ushered me towards the city center, which is where the beacon was. Already feeling pretty welcomed into the city, I found out that the mayor was Duckworth, so I guess Kendrick lives here? I also found these pretty cool maps which show all the different cities inside of the server. You got the Oasis, Legacity, the Grand, I don't really know what that is. And nearby, you also have a house with a stripper pole. Yo, zombie, are you gonna dance for me? I also found Gand's pretty humble town hall, with apparently a steed inside. Walking near the border of Gand, I also found this pretty cool little gate that actually functions properly, and then proceeded to lock myself out of the entire city. I then encountered this giant temple looking thing, and I'm pretty sure this is actually from 2B2T. It had a bunch of wheat around it and was made out of sand and netherrack, and it was a pretty impressive build. And since it was pretty high up at the top, I actually got a pretty nice view of the entire city of Gand. It seems to be packed full with a bunch of cool buildings, but also still has a bunch of empty room to build in, so it seems like there's definitely places for me to live here. I then decided to go inside the nether portals at the top of the temple, and got a very kind welcome by a ghast. And then leaving the nether, I ended up in this random cave who no one knows where it is, and then had to climb up agonizingly slowly through this water. And because it took so long, I ended up dying due to lack of oxygen just as I got to the top of the water. And because I was recently hit by a ghast, I also got this insanely ironic death message. I found Gand's courthouse, which hopefully I can use to sue that ghast that touched me, and the public farm, which I definitely need right now because I am starving, and you know I love carrots. A huge giant clock tower as well, which doesn't have anything in it, but just looks really cool, and a huge apartment complex. I wonder how long it took to get all of the quartz and stained glass needed for this build. And it's definitely, just by magnitude alone, one of the most impressive builds on the server. But I started climbing up some of the floors. A lot of them are vacant and required that you have to DM the mayor in order to rent them out. But eventually I did find some occupied floors. This one, which just had a couple of chests and furnaces. But then you have this one, which actually looks like it's been built up properly. Going inside, and it was pretty well furnished. It had some chests, a nice kitchen, and also a giant painting, which you know I had to go through. Yep, there's a secret right there. There was also this content creator setup with a green screen and a computer. Oh wow, look, the monitor says that you subscribe. You got this table here with a stripper pole, and hey, look, even this time it has some seating so you can sit down and watch. There was also this random door that just led right outside to a massive drop. It'd probably be a good time to mention that boosters of the server actually get flying abilities so they can build easier. There is a TV, some even more paintings, which actually did lead somewhere this time. Pretty nice apartment overall, and then there's another one here, which was, in comparison, pretty bad. I'm sure it'll become better in the future, but I mean, they did have like a landlord special here. Apparently the mayor is not very good at patching up holes. Walking into this apartment, it actually had a really nice bedroom. I really like the bed frame. I think it fits really well, and also a creeper, but you know. Then this zombie came out of nowhere, so I just juked it like a pro. But overall, I really like the color scheme and aesthetic of this build. I really like how they use the jungle planks, the stone, and the sandstone. It just gives it a different feel compared to the other apartments. It also just feels very luxurious. You also get this really nice view of the clock tower from here. While trying to leave, I also found another zombie, but I trapped him. Bitch. The rest of the apartment complex doesn't seem to be finished yet, so I decided to head back down, and I found actually a Funland right next to it. And a baby zombie seemed really excited to go to the amusement park, so hey, baby zombie, let's go, come on! Let's go on this cool slide looking thing. Come on, baby zombie, let's go, let's have some fun! Hey, stop hitting me though, that's not very nice. Hey! Okay, I'm turning it on, just relax. Relax, baby zombie, it's gonna be okay. Yo, don't hit me off! Yo, be careful, 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 you're gonna kill— Well, anyways, I died, so let's go ahead and just go to the next city. So I decided to go to this city called Pixel, and it didn't seem to have an official flag or anything. The only flag I could find was the German flag above the railroad. So I'm just gonna say that that's their flag. This place is pretty up and coming, so there wasn't really too much to look at. The buildings that were there, though, were very impressive and definitely reminded me of a European aesthetic. It definitely had the coolest town hall in the entire server, at least from what I've seen. I mean, just look at this thing. It is awesome. I don't know how they really expect anyone to speak from this stand though. I can barely even see past it. You can tell that this is going to be a huge front for a massive build, but right now it's just a facade. There's nothing actually behind it. These houses were incredibly small on the inside, but hey, at least they look pretty cool. But yeah, there isn't really too much to see here, but what is here is definitely of high quality, and it's pretty cool just to stroll around at least. But to live here, I don't know, there just isn't really much. I did get to see a pretty cool view of the city though from this obsidian glass tower. As we head towards the end city, let's recap all the cities we've been to so far. Legacy City, it's got great carrots and the real farm. It also feels like a classic Legacy Edition city, but it's pretty crowded and doesn't really have too many places to build, and it also doesn't treat hobos very well. The Oasis, it has some seriously impressive builds, like the Sphinx, the pyramids with the maze inside, the French thing, and the town hall, but it also has childhood trauma, skeletons, and it's inside the desert. Gand. It has really welcoming residents, lots of undeveloped space to live, impressive builds like the clock tower, temple, and the apartments, which is my personal favorite build so far, but I got killed by ghasts, water, and baby zombies while I was there. And finally, Pixel. It has an amazing town hall, but sadly it is clearly suffering from growing pains, and it is clearly still new and highly undeveloped. And here we are, arriving at Stronghold Station to go into the final city, which is fittingly inside the end. This is Endos, and this is pretty cool looking. It clearly has the coolest flag we've seen so far, with purple and black stripes with an eye in the center. Like the fat ass I am, I was immediately intrigued by this chest of free food, but there was nothing inside. It seems like they also have some captured villagers. And look, Dan, I think I know you from somewhere. And hey, isn't this your sidekick? Now, normally I'm not a huge fan on the birch aesthetic, especially when it uses the bare logs, but I don't know, something about it being in the end actually kind of makes it work. And this would be a pretty exotic place to live. I mean, look at this guy. He gets a view of the void when he wakes up. Very safe path. Oh. That is pretty safe. I love how they incorporated the end towers into like an actual build. Like they have bridges going to each tower connected to a custom made tower in the middle. And look at this castle. This is awesome. Again, the birch aesthetic just kind of works. And look, this was actually owned by Cracked Egg. I guess this is where she used to live before she moved into a bat cave. Well, I mean, if she's not gonna be the queen here, I may as well be the king. And look at this, Endo's apartments. They actually incorporated an apartment building into the end pillar. This is a really cool idea, and I mean, the apartments are tiny, but still, I just love the creativity that had to be put in to make something like this. But I guess that's it. Let's go head back to spawn and decide on where I finally want to live. I went ahead and punched down a tree, made some signs, and a sword because I keep getting attacked. And here we go. Wherever I place down that sign, I'm going to be living. Now, I feel like Lego City is out. It's a great city, but it's just too crowded. There's no place to build. The Oasis is out just because I'd rather build in a plains biome, to be honest. Pixel is out because it's just underdeveloped in my opinion. And as much as I love the creativity of Endos, I just don't think I want to live in a place that exotic. So that only leaves one place left. Well, I mean, you could count the XCX world, but no one really does. Gand. That is where I'm going to be living. I guess it really was the best city after all. Well, at least for me. I hope you enjoyed this video and coming along with me on the journey of exploring this Legacy Console Edition server in 2026. It was really fun. There were some really cool builds, and I'm definitely going to be playing on this server more. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed and want to see more content from me.